It only took a few hours for DeepSeek R1, a Chinese artificial intelligence system, to shatter the dominance of American artificial intelligence. Within hours of its launch, DeepSeek wiped out over $1 trillion of the US economy in an instant. Nvidia's stock plummeted by 17% with a total loss of $593 billion. Not just Nvidia, Broadcom's stock also plunged by 17.4%. This was followed by Alphabet, Google's parent company, which fell by 4.2%. Then, Microsoft, the supporter of ChatGPT, dropped by 2.1%. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index also slumped by 9.2%, its largest decline since March 2020, with Marvell Technology experiencing the biggest drop at 19.1%. This was a devastating and shocking blow to the United States. As a newcomer, DeepSeek took the top spot as the most downloaded system on the App Store in the US, UK, and China since its launch. Previously, many American entrepreneurs believed they were several years ahead of China. They thought that Chinese startups couldn't possibly produce AI models that surpassed those of the US. However, this assumption was completely wrong. In fact, the new Chinese AI model outperformed the most advanced US models at a significantly lower cost. However, this is not just a battle about technological advancements. It's a clash between two AI systems that represent two major countries. This battle will also be a story about the hegemony of capitalism and geopolitics that will shape the world in the future. This conflict began when President Donald Trump announced a hike in import tariffs on Chinese products. The US government accused China of unfair trade practices, including intellectual property theft and non-transparent industrial subsidies. In response to the tariff increase, China retaliated by raising tariffs on US products, further worsening trade relations between the two countries. However, the trade war escalated when the US began targeting China's technology sector, particularly large companies such as Huawei, which was banned from accessing 4G technology and US hardware components. TikTok, accused of compromising US user data security, and SMIC, sanctioned to hinder the development of advanced chips, were also targeted. The primary reason for the US blockade was its concern about China's dominance in the technology sector, particularly in artificial intelligence and communication. If China successfully developed its own technology without relying on the US, America's position as a global technology leader could be threatened. Therefore, the US took steps to prevent China from accessing the most advanced chips, which are crucial components in the development of artificial intelligence and supercomputers. As is well known, in the current digital era, chips are the heart of all advanced technologies, from smartphones to supercomputers, and from electric vehicles to artificial intelligence or AI. Everything depends on powerful and efficient semiconductor chips. For the US and China, control over chip technology is as important as having nuclear weapons in modern warfare. This is why the US uses chips as a primary tool to pressure China in the trade war. For decades, the United States and its allies have had control over the global chip industry. The United States has Nvidia, which is the leader in producing advanced GPUs for AI. There is also Intel, the leading manufacturer of CPUs and various chips for data centers. Additionally, there is AMD, which is a major competitor to Nvidia in the GPU and processor industry. Meanwhile, TSMC of Taiwan is the most advanced semiconductor factory in the world, producing chips for Apple, Nvidia, and other companies. Furthermore, ASML, a company that dominates extreme ultraviolet lithography technology, which is crucial for producing the most advanced chips, is also part of the United States. With this dominance, the United States has complete control over chip technology worldwide. This means that if a country does not receive permission from the United States, they will have difficulty accessing the most advanced chips in the world. Tragically, since 2022, the Biden administration has taken aggressive steps to prevent China from accessing advanced chips. The steps taken by Biden include banning the export of high-end GPUs from NVIDIA and AMD to China, restricting China's access to TSMC to prevent the production of high-tech chips, pressuring the Netherlands to ban the export of EUV machines from ASML, and adding Chinese semiconductor companies to the trade blacklist. As a result, China can no longer purchase the latest chips from NVIDIA, such as the NVIDIA A100 and H10, which are the industry standard for developing artificial intelligence. Many analysts believe that without access to advanced chips, China is on the brink of disaster. However, blocking China's access to advanced chips appears to be one of the most regrettable decisions ever made by the United States. Instead of giving up, China has found a way out that has shocked the world. When the sanctions from the United States took effect, China's technology industry experienced a major shock. However, China began using older generation GPUs like NVIDIA's A800 and H800, which are still accessible, although they have limited capacity compared to the latest chips. Meanwhile, SMIC, China's largest semiconductor factory, began developing domestic chips that, although still lagging behind TSMC and Samsung, were still capable of performing basic AI tasks. In addition, China also developed a distributed computing system, where multiple lower-end GPUs work together to achieve performance comparable to high-end GPUs. China also strengthened its relationships with countries that did not follow US sanctions, such as Russia and some Middle Eastern countries, to obtain technology supplies. Although it did not have chips comparable to NVIDIA's H100, China was able to develop AI in other ways, such as using more efficient AI models. Instead of following the brute force approach like OpenAI and Google, which use supercomputers with hundreds of thousands of GPUs, China focused on more lightweight and energy-efficient AI models. China also utilized cloud computing, rather than relying on a single super powerful GPU. They used multiple weaker GPUs in parallel, creating a cloud-based supercomputer that could still train large-scale AI. In addition, China began developing more efficient AI algorithms, which did not require chips with high computational power. As a result of this strategy, China finally created DeepSeek AI, which used simpler hardware but had outstanding performance. And remarkably, with a budget of only $6 million, approximately $7 billion, in just 2 months, DeepSeek successfully created 2 AI models, DeepSeek V3 and DeepSeek R1, which were said to be more efficient and economical. And what's more, one of the biggest attractions of DeepSeek is its free and open source nature. China's decision to open up access to this technology had a significant impact on the global AI industry. By releasing DeepSeek's source code, China encouraged more developers around the world to use their technology. And as more people adopted DeepSeek, the stronger their AI ecosystem became. Currently, many companies and institutions around the world still rely on AI models from OpenAI, Google, or Microsoft. So, with DeepSeek, China offers an alternative that could reduce the dominance of US AI. Open-source AI allows developing countries and small companies to develop their own AI technology without having to pay expensive fees to Western companies. And this could strengthen China's relationships with other countries that want to avoid dependence on the US. And by opening up this technology to the world, China can attract more developers, researchers, and innovators to contribute to their AI development.